Imagine this. You travel from New Jersey all the way down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You're on vacation, relaxed, doing what Myrtle Beach is known for, hopping from one mini golf course to the next. Then it happens. Some guy from Piscataway winds up like he's teeing off at the Masters, launches the ball, and it smacks you square in the face. Blood, pain, embarrassment, the whole thing. Now you're asking a very reasonable question. Can you sue the mini golf course for not protecting you? But the real question most people never think about until it's too late is this. Where do you file the lawsuit? A lot of people assume the answer is simple. They think, I live in New Jersey, so I'll just file the lawsuit back home. And emotionally, that makes sense. Legally, it doesn't. For a lawsuit to even exist, the court has to have jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means power. It's the legal authority a court has over the people or businesses involved in the case. Without it, nothing else matters. In this mini golf situation, the business you want to sue is located in South Carolina. It operates there. It advertises there. It makes its money there. It has nothing to do with New Jersey. So if you walk into a New Jersey courtroom and try to sue that South Carolina mini golf course, the judge is going to shut it down almost immediately. Not because your injury isn't real, not because your case is weak, but because the court has no power over that defendant. A New Jersey court cannot force a South Carolina business to show up, defend itself, or pay damages when that business has no meaningful connection to New Jersey. That's not a loophole. That's a constitutional protection. This is where people hear the phrase states' rights and think it's just political theory. But this is one of the most practical, real-world ways states' rights still operate today. Each state is sovereign within its borders. South Carolina controls businesses that operate in South Carolina. New Jersey controls businesses that operate in New Jersey. States don't get to reach across borders and start exercising power over people or companies that never chose to be there. The legal system requires a connection. Lawyers call it minimum contacts. Judges call it fairness. The Constitution calls it due process. If a business doesn't transact business in your state, doesn't advertise there, doesn't send products there, and doesn't deliberately benefit from your state, your courts don't get power over it. So in the mini golf injury scenario, the correct place to file the lawsuit is South Carolina, even if you live hundreds or thousands of miles away. This isn't just theory. The United States Supreme Court settled this issue decades ago in a real case decided on May 19, 1980, called Worldwide Volkswagen Corp. v. Woodson. The Supreme Court dealt with this exact question. The case involved a family who bought a car in New York from a local dealership. Later, while driving through Oklahoma, they were involved in a serious car accident and suffered severe injuries. They sued not only the manufacturer, but also the New York dealership, and they tried to do it in Oklahoma court. Their argument was simple. The accident happened in Oklahoma, so Oklahoma courts should have jurisdiction. The Supreme Court disagreed. The New York dealership didn't sell cars in Oklahoma. It didn't advertise there. It didn't target Oklahoma customers. It didn't do business there in any meaningful way. The fact that the plaintiffs drove the car into Oklahoma was not enough. The court ruled that forcing the dealership to defend itself in Oklahoma would violate due process, because the dealership never chose to benefit from Oklahoma law. Oklahoma courts had no authority over it. That same legal logic applies directly to the mini golf injury in Myrtle Beach. This is why jurisdiction is one of the very first things lawyers analyze before filing a lawsuit. If you get it wrong, your case can be dismissed instantly, sometimes after months of work and thousands of dollars in legal fees. It doesn't matter how strong your evidence is. It doesn't matter how serious your injury is. If the court lacks jurisdiction, the case is dead before it even begins. These rules protect businesses from being dragged into random courts across the country, but they also protect individuals. Imagine if any state could sue you just because someone carried your product, your service, or your presence across state lines. The system only works because jurisdiction is limited, predictable, and tied to real connections. So the next time you hear a wild lawsuit story or you find yourself injured far from home, remember this. The first battle isn't negligence. It isn't damages. It isn't even fault. The first battle is where the lawsuit is allowed to exist at all. In the United States, your state controls you, not everyone else's. And whether you're hit by a mini golf ball in Myrtle Beach or arguing in front of the Supreme Court, that principle is still very much alive.